Penguins insider from the PG, Mike DeFabo, who was at Morning Skate. Listen to Mike Sullivan, and he's presented by Ensco Long Insurance and Rhino Shield. It's not just paint, it's Rhino Shield. Mike, where do you come down on the idea of Brian Boyle asking Jacob Trouba to fight tonight?
I don't think that that's really the main objective here tonight. Like, what's going to hurt worse for Jacob Trouba, getting punched in the face or having to look the Penguins in the eye in a handshake line and know that they ended his season?
What if it's a really hard punch?
It's a good point. Here's the other thing about Brian Boyle. Like, I feel badly for the poor guy. Like, I always was jealous of the guys who got to stand in the back row of the Little League pictures because they were tall. But now, just because he's a big dude, he's been asked to fight. But he's not a fighter. He's just a big human being. And so there's no guarantee he's even going to win that fight. You know, the Penguins need to be focused on winning the game. That's their objective. That was Mike Sullivan's just play mantra that helped the Penguins win the Cup in 2016 and 17. And I think now more than ever that's going to be important.
But tonight. What if that fight causes a total frenzy inside the arena? Fans start going bonkers, and it just creates a Thunderdome atmosphere in there, Mike. That would help them win the game.
Well, it's already going to be that atmosphere. But what if the opposite happens, Tony, just to play devil's advocate, which I think is more likely? What if they're running around trying to chase Jacob Trouba and they're focused on getting their revenge, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they look up and they're down 2-0 on the scoreboard because they were so busy trying to get their, So how about you go out, get a 2-goal lead, and then in the garbage time at the end of the game, then why don't you have Brian Boyle challenge him? That's what I would do if I was the Penguins.
Oh, the last time a Penguins guy who was just big but wasn't much of a fighter challenged somebody to a fight, Jamie Alexiak got his head taken off, so that feels like something to remember.
Yeah, but that was by Tom Wilson, Mulsey. What is Jacob Trouba?
Maybe he's got a little secret boxer.
Oh, he's a cheap shot artist. The only time he beats somebody up is when he elbows them in the head when they're not looking.
Well, maybe they should just wait till they're up 2 or 3 and then take a run at Chris Kreider. Maybe that's the best way to serve revenge here. Or maybe just do it in the first period. Anyway, Mike, what do you expect to see from Evgeny Malkin tonight? Because it's been written, I know you talked about this, you wrote about this, people have tweeted about it. Not only is there the expectation that this guy raises his game when 87's out, if he doesn't tonight and they go on to lose this series, we might have watched the last game he'll ever play as a Penguin in that building.
Yeah, exactly. This very possibly could be Evgeny Malkin's last game at PPG Paints Arena as a Penguin based on his contract situation. So going out and winning this game and being the driving force serves two purposes. Number one, it extends your postseason and, most importantly, continue this run. But then beyond that, he doesn't have a contract, evidently, because it doesn't take any inside information. He values himself at a different level than the front office values him. So why not right now make a compelling argument that I still am an elite hockey player and I am somebody worth keeping and it's worth keeping this core together? Now more than ever, this is a chance for him to do that.
What did you read into Sullivan's comments on Sidney Crosby and the way they handled Crosby today, Mike?
I think he's going through concussion protocol. I think that as with any head injury, it varies person to person. It varies head injury to head injury. Obviously, everybody's concerned given that prolonged absence when Crosby missed, parts of 2 seasons, and you didn't know when or if he would ever play again. But dating back to 2017, he did have a head injury, and he only missed 1 game. So I don't care who the player is or what team they're on. Everybody, I think, would agree. You hope that the guy's brain heals quickly, he's okay, and he's going to get back on the ice.
Has anybody asked that question point blank? Is he in concussion protocol?
Yeah, I asked that question, and he said he only acknowledged that it was an upper body injury. He said he didn't want to get into the specifics of it, but I think it's pretty obvious it's a head injury.
What does he mean by he's in a good place? When he talked to him and he said, I think he's in a good place. What do you extrapolate from that?
That he didn't want to answer my question. I asked him how he's doing, and he just said he's in a good place. I think that here's what I'd take from that. There's all this focus on Sidney Crosby and what's going on. When's he going to be back? How bad is his injury? What about Jacob Trouba? And I think the message Mike Sullivan is trying to send and has continued to send to his team is we have enough in our lineup. And, yes, we're missing our captain, but we have more than enough capable players. So let's not focus on what we don't have. Let's not focus on Sidney Crosby and all the situations surrounding that. Let's focus on the game at hand right now. And how is Evgeny Malkin going to step in? How is Evan Rodriguez now centering a line, the second line? How is he going to perform? What are we going to do in front of Louis Domingue to not leave him out to dry? Those are the things that are going to be important in this game, and I think that's why Mike Sullivan is sending the message the way that he is.
I thought there was a chance, and we're talking to Mike DeFabo, Penguins insider. I thought there was a chance when you guys were sending out video of Jari going through a full practice today that they were going to make it look like Domingue was the starter and then pull a fast one and start Jari. But then what? Sullivan dismissed any chance of Jari playing tonight. Like, he ruled him completely out, correct?
He did. He said even in a backup capacity, apparently they had discussed that possibility but decided it was not the way to go. Once again, I think it's important for people to realize that this is a different position. This is an extremely unique position in sports. And the rehab is more akin to a baseball player coming back where they need to go see pitching in Double-A before they're ready to see a major league fastball. It's quite similar for an NHL goalie. And so today was the first time in a month that Tristan Jarry has seen 5-on-5 hockey in front of him. Okay, asking a goalie who plays a position that's predicated on reaction time and muscle memory to go out there and make big-time saves in a big-time environment, you're setting him up to fail. Okay, so that's why they're making the decision that they are. He may be healthy enough that he's not going to re-injure that broken foot, but going out there and having success and being able to, provide the goaltending that this team is going to need to win the game.
That being said, if they lose tonight, do you expect him to start Game 7?
It's going to put the team in a really interesting position. So
that's your way of saying yes. I read a yes there. Mulsey, you hear a yes?
Well, I want Mike to tell
like
us.
A yes.
I want Mike to tell us yes or no.
I think that they're going to have to make the call. I think it's going to be a really difficult decision for them.
Do you think they'll leave it up to him? Like, do you think they'll ask him and let him call his shot?
He'll want to play, Mulsey.
I think it's going to be a conversation between Tristan Jarry, goaltending coach Andy Chiodo, the medical staff, Mike Sullivan. They'll analyze how he looks in practices. What I had heard leading into this, well before Jarry ever even got on the ice, they said he would need several good, hard practices before he'd be back. I would consider this maybe the first, maybe at the best the second good, hard practice he's been through where he's faced real shots in a real environment.
God, and then we get into the whole thing of how many is several exactly.
Right.
Is it 5?
What's your definition, Mulsey? More than 3 or 4?
I think when I get to 3, I'm like, all right, that's a trio. But then I think 4 might be several.
If there were a bunch of Oreos outside of the studio and I asked you, hey, grab me several.
I'm coming back with at least 4. Bare minimum, probably 5.
That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important that they just win the game. I think.
Do you think they will?
I think they will. I do think that they will. I think that Evgeny Malkin's going to have a huge night. I think that Jake Gensel is going to continue to do what he's been doing, and I think that they're going to play the quality team structured defense in front of Louis Domingue that they showed in Game 4. In Game 4, Louis Domingue faced 3 shots from the slot and just 20-something shots in total. So he even joked himself in an interview with Emily Kaplan. He said, I didn't have to do anything, which is a good thing. This needs to be a full team effort, front to back. And
does Raquel play?
Okay, so Raquel is really interesting because if you watch the morning skate, he did not take part in line rushes, which is normally the indication that a player is going to play or not. So
okay.
I was expecting Mike Sullivan to say he's out, he's not playing. But then he said game time decision, which is a completely different message. And typically game time decision means a guy will play. So my gut tells me he's not going to play. But until warm-ups, I think that's really a tricky one to call at this point.
Wow. What Steelers game are you looking forward to tailgating the most?
Oh, man. The first one.
First home game?
Nice. The weather's nice. And... yeah, the first home game. Who do they play?
New England.
New England. Okay, yeah, perfect. That one sounds that's great to me. I love the warm weather. I'm always in the gold lot. That's my place to
Mike,
be.
we've already found out from Donnie. He has already revealed, and Donnie, I'm going to say this on the air. He said it off the air. He has revealed he and his buddies, the Nasty Boys, his tailgate group, they're going down to Charlotte for Panthers Steelers December 18th, Mike. You love wings. Donnie loves wings. You're a Latrobe man. Donnie is from Greensburg.
He's got no shot. It'll already be into Penguin season by then.
Will you find a way
He can't.
to fudge an illness so you can go drinking and wing eating with Donnie and his boys?
You make a compelling argument. That's an offer I can't say no to. I think I might have to find a way to be there. Maybe take a little PTO, plan a little vacation. Something. I'll figure it out.
He's a game time decision.
I mean, one time we had it on, you basically made it sound like your HR lady and you are two-piece in a pod. So she could probably swing that for you.
Oh, Linda. She has great sports takes. Like I said, she calls him my Marc-Andre. She doesn't call him Marc-Andre Fleury. You think that they were romantically involved the way that she talks about it.
Man, he got the shaft again, huh? He didn't start last night and they lost.
Did not.
You think he's back here next year, Mike?
Boy, that would be interesting. I don't think so.
Louis Domingue would find out just very quickly how much Penguins fans actually like him when it became Domingue or Fleury. I think he would find out that spicy pork could hit the road. By the way,
you think they'll have it tonight on the menu? Do you go back to that one more time?
I don't know. Do you go? Yeah. Do you get that superstitious
again? I think you have to. It worked.
They might.
Are you talking about for fans or are you talking about for
media? The media meal.
Yeah, I think you got to go back to spicy pork.
I don't know. I don't know if I would eat it. I feel like I've had too much of it at this point. My stomach's still not right.
Oh, my God. You might want to file a complaint with a Better Business Bureau. That was like a week ago.
Mike DeFabo, Penguins Insider, Post-Gazette.
Bye,
Thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
All right, thanks, fellas. Appreciate you having me on.